Welcome to a world where every family secret can explode in an instant, and what seems perfect on the outside hides a storm of greed, betrayal, and shocking truths. Here, loyalty is tested, trust is broken, and every twist reveals hidden motives that no one saw coming. From reckless acts that trigger devastating discoveries to quiet manipulations that destroy relationships, each story dives deep into the raw emotions behind family conflicts. Watch as greed shatters boundaries, love turns to suspicion, and carefully kept secrets finally come to light. Every decision, every glance, every hidden transaction can change everything in a heartbeat. Get ready to immerse yourself in gripping tales where one shocking revelation leads to another, relationships are tested beyond repair, and a quiet, calculated path to justice and revenge unfolds. These are the stories you won't forget, true, intense, and unforgettable. The house had always been a place of quiet smiles and polite conversations, but beneath the surface, a storm of greed and manipulation was quietly taking shape. Every dinner felt rehearsed, every laugh hollow, and every gesture seemed calculated. The daughter-in-law, who once appeared sweet and harmless, had a way of twisting words, glances, and favors to her advantage, leaving subtle cracks in the foundation of trust. It began with small things, misplaced bills, minor purchases charged to accounts without permission, but the pattern quickly escalated. What had once been a family bound by love and loyalty was now infiltrated by cunning intentions that no one could openly confront. The betrayal was invisible to most, masked behind a charming smile and whispered excuses. Each interaction revealed a hidden agenda, a silent assertion of control that made the air thick with tension. The husband, unaware of the full extent of the deception, continued to defend the very person undermining him. Conversations that should have been simple became battlegrounds, with subtle digs and carefully hidden truths slipping out in fleeting moments. Watching him unknowingly protect someone who was quietly siphoning trust and resources brought a surge of anger and disbelief. Every hidden transaction, every manipulated conversation turned the familiar walls of home into a labyrinth of suspicion. One day, a shocking revelation shattered the fragile calm. The credit card statements told a story too blatant to ignore, a tale of audacity that left the family gasping. Thousands of dollars spent in reckless abandon carried the signature of greed and betrayal, painting a portrait of intentions that had been hiding behind laughter and polite manners. The realization hit like a storm. Loyalty was no shield against calculated deceit, and love alone could not prevent betrayal from taking root. The moments that followed were heavy with silent fury and simmering plans. Every glance, every whispered apology, every false reassurance now carried the weight of knowledge and the promise of reckoning. The delicate dance of family ties was exposed for what it truly was, a battleground where trust had been weaponized and innocence had been feigned to conceal a calculated hunger for gain. The truth had been revealed, and nothing would ever allow the shadow of betrayal to fade. The house that once felt safe became a gallery of hidden truths, each room echoing with whispers that were never meant to be heard. The daughter-in-law, always so polished and sweet on the surface, carried a hunger for more than appearances could satisfy. It wasn't just money, it was control, the thrill of bending a family to her will without anyone noticing. Every gesture, every conversation seemed innocent, but beneath it all, the signs were there for anyone willing to look closely. Small withdrawals, mysterious charges, subtle manipulations that slowly began to unravel the sense of security that had long been taken for granted. The husband, once a pillar of trust, had always seemed untouchable, the calm center in a household that prided itself on unity. Yet the layers of deception hid right under his nose, and the more he defended the person who smiled and thanked him for his generosity, the deeper the betrayal ran. watching him unknowingly protect someone who was quietly siphoning not just money, but faith and loyalty, carved an ache that was impossible to ignore. Every carefully crafted lie, every friendly visit to a shop or lavish purchase charged to accounts meant to be shared, revealed the stark truth. Appearances were a mask, and behind the mask was someone willing to take everything for herself. The moment the financial statement arrived, the illusion shattered. $53,000. The figure was almost surreal, each number a testament to audacity and greed. It wasn't just the money, it was what the money represented, the ease with which trust had been stolen, the casualness of a betrayal that cut through years of family bonds. Long-buried secrets about the husband's indulgences, the moments he'd turned a blind eye, and the ways he had unknowingly enabled manipulation all became painfully clear. What had seemed like a perfect, harmonious relationship was revealed as fragile, vulnerable, and far more complicated than anyone had suspected. The aftermath was silence, heavy and expectant. Words felt useless against the magnitude of what had been uncovered. Every glance at the daughter-in-law was charged with recognition, every interaction a reminder that the veneer of harmony had been destroyed. The lessons were sharp, and the truth burned with an intensity that would never fade. The betrayal had been exposed, and nothing would ever restore the illusion of safety. The tension had been building quietly, like smoke in a room no one noticed until it stung the eyes. Greed had crept into the house slowly, disguised as charm and politeness, eroding boundaries that were once unquestionable. The daughter-in-law, who had always smiled with seeming sweetness, revealed a hunger that could not be satisfied with appearances alone. Each day brought a subtle push further into audacity, charges to shared accounts, gifts claimed as necessities, explanations offered with a casualness that masked calculation. What seemed like generosity and family harmony was really a stage carefully constructed to hide ambition and manipulation. The husband, so trusting and unsuspecting, defended every action, every expense, believing in a loyalty that was no longer returned. The betrayal was not loud or violent, it was quiet, creeping into the crevices of daily life until the foundation of trust was cracked beyond repair. Every financial statement, every sudden absence from family conversations, every seemingly innocent smile carried a hidden weight. The realization that someone so close could so thoroughly exploit goodwill brought a storm of raw emotions, shock, anger, disbelief, intertwining with memories of every shared laugh, every gesture of faith. Then came the moment of undeniable proof. The credit card bill arrived like a verdict, each number a silent scream of betrayal. $53,000 gone in reckless indulgence. It wasn't just the money, it was the brazenness, the ease with which trust had been stolen, and the revelation that a perfect household had been an illusion. Hidden within those charges were clues to long-buried secrets about the husband, moments of oversight, indulgences, and blind trust that had allowed deception to flourish. The discovery ignited a quiet, calculated fire, a determination to confront the audacity without losing control, to take action in a way that would leave consequences unavoidable. Every glance, every conversation from that point carried an unspoken tension. The household, once comfortable, was transformed into a battleground of perception and strategy. Greed had destroyed boundaries, yes, but it had also revealed the strength of vigilance, the power of awareness, and the inevitability of justice for those who underestimated the consequences of the betrayal. The reckoning had begun, and nothing would stop its course. It only took one careless swipe of a credit card to set everything in motion, and suddenly the carefully maintained illusion of family harmony began to unravel. A single act of recklessness exposed layers of hidden motives, revealing a network of manipulation and greed that had long been concealed behind polite smiles and polite words. The daughter-in-law's charm, which had once seemed innocent, now felt like a weapon, a tool used to bend loyalty and trust to her advantage. Every conversation, every gesture carried an undercurrent of control and calculated deceit, and the truth became impossible to ignore. The husband, so unaware, continued to defend her, unable to see the threads of betrayal weaving through the fabric of the household. Every denial, every excuse offered in her favor, now rang hollow against the evidence piling up silently but undeniably. $53,000 vanished almost overnight, and the number itself was more than shocking. It was proof that appearances had masked ambition and avarice for far too long. Each transaction told a story of greed and disregard, each receipt a confirmation of manipulation that had been thriving unnoticed. The revelations didn't stop at the money. Buried behind these audacious purchases were deeper, more unsettling truths about loyalty and the fragile nature of trust. Long-kept family secrets, small indulgences the husband had once ignored, moments where oversight had allowed manipulation to grow. Everything suddenly pointed to the same conclusion. The perfect household had always been a fragile stage, and everyone who believed in its facade had been playing a role without realizing it. The quiet fury that followed was deliberate, focused, and unrelenting. Plans formed in the mind with precision, a careful choreography designed to ensure that justice was inevitable and the consequences unavoidable. Every glance, every word spoken, every move made became part of a larger design, a calculated counter to the audacity that had nearly gone unchecked. Trust had been shattered, deceit laid bare, and the knowledge of who had orchestrated the betrayal ensured that nothing would remain the same. The reckoning was unstoppable, and it would leave no deception unexposed. If this story left your heart racing and your mind spinning, don't miss what's coming next. Hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on more shocking family betrayals, hidden secrets, and unforgettable twists that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment where trust is tested, loyalty is shattered, and revenge unfolds in ways you won't believe. Your next obsession is just one click away.